I didn't ask that. Nope. Where is the chat? Okay, there it is. Cool. All right, we're here. Okay. Perfect timing. A little early today. That never happens. Well, for today it will. So on today's, let me put it on my logo screen. But anyways, today we are installing the lamp today. I got this fancier lamp version. I don't know why Precision had this, but the coils look nicer. Definitely looks cleaner. Let me see if I can show you. And then the ends are really like, has like this nice little sheath around it. And it's very pretty. This is not the ones I'm used to, the ones that are like really kind of shittily made. It also doesn't use a whole lot of red RTV to hold it. It's using this like white stuff that they were using before. Not sure exactly what it is, but yeah, usually they'll have like, you'll get a lamp and I'll be like, oh, here's an example of one. Here's a newer lamp. They use the red RTV on here. The coils look a little bit different. And then the top, they do this little, I don't know what that is, a little coiling thing at the end to connect the wires together. So I don't know if that's any worse or better, but it's definitely different. So I'm gonna install this one here. I think this one is busted. So the one in the unit is busted. So we'll go ahead and we'll try to figure that out. Oh, no sound. Oh, hold on. Wait. What the hell? Let me go see with my mic. Come on, mic. Hello? Hello? No sound? Is there still sound? No sound? Global mic. Hello? Hello? Test. Okay, it's coming through on my end. You can kind of hear it. I have like echo now. Hello? Oh yeah, okay. So it works on YouTube, but it's not working on. Here, let me turn that echo off. There we go. Something's happened on Discord. Okay. Maybe it's back on. I'm not sure. Anyways, sorry. Like I said, there are two different lamps. I don't know why there's different qualities other than they're probably different vendors. So this is kind of the newer one. This is the one I'm used to. It kind of uses like this red RTV to hold it together. And all that does is get brittle because this gets super hot. Not good on there. That is weird. Oh. Huh. Well, let me change something on here. That's my defaulted device. Did that work? Okay, well, I guess if it's working on YouTube, it should be fine. Okay, well, I'll keep going. Anyways, so what we'll do is we'll take the front cover off. I'll show you how it looks like to pull all the little connectors off and just how easy it is, or hard. So there's like a bit of issues with it sometimes. especially if it's especially if you strip one of the screws that holds in the panels, which can happen. But I do have like the dimensions you can get, and you can buy them on Amazon too if you need to buy more extra screws. I'll show you the screws I'm talking about soon. But let me pull the front off, like we always do. Pull the front two off, front four. Pulling the front four off. Let me. Goes. We'll take this off. Get my little tool for that. Smaller one. I guess the smaller one. Yep, it's definitely the smaller one. I gotta go find that one later, but let's see if I could take this front one off. A little bit bigger. This work? I guess that'll work. It's not a hex, but it's a torque, but we'll try it out. So I'm pulling these 6 off right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Keep this open so in case your screws were to fall, they at least fall into the pan. Good, we'll pull that off. Take this off. There we go. Put that in. So I just drop those all in this little pot right here. Not pot, little pan. So I'm gonna pull this out. I'm gonna be mindful of these wires right here. This one right here. Good. Then I'm gonna take out the bulb. So I'll do a top view of that. Let me reverse the machine a little bit. Put that in here. That's the ass end of this. Ugh. Cool. So we'll pull this out and let me go grab my other camera. We'll go from the top. We go lower. Let's go lower, shall we? A little blurry. Let me go bring it up a little bit more. There he goes. Okay, so you're gonna pull out these 3 screws. One, I'm going by memory. So I think it's this one, and this one. You're more than likely gonna strip these screws because they're built out of pure shit. So just be careful. But you can also buy a replacement version of them, which I'm gonna do today. And also probably don't want to use one of these, but I'm gonna replace them. Replace it anyways. So it's still not working on the Discord. I don't know what's going on with Discord. Let me see. Do I need to restart Discord? Let's try this. Hello? No. Test, test, test. Not working still. Let me go question mark. No mic. Okay, anyways, all right, I'm gonna take off all 3. And then it should just pop out right off. I did it. Cool. Oh, one thing too, just to make your life a little bit easier, you probably want to pull this screw off as well. That's just to hold the wires in place. So I'm going to pull that out. And I'm going to just route that back here so I don't lose it. And hopefully the screw will stay in place. Then I'll pull this out. Voila. There we go. All right. So we got the lamp almost out. So all we got to do now is take the boot. It has a little bit of adhesive at it. So we'll pull the boot off. Ooh, it's kind of loose too. So now this part, you're going to need like little long needle pliers. Cafe Haru. Yes, that's this new place that opened up by us, and I've been it's been a very nice to have it in my little suburb. Okay, so what I did there was I just squeezed the tip like right at the base, press it in, and then you could push in and then pull out, and it'll do the same thing on this other side. So just press it in, push in. I made the first one really easy, incredibly easy. Okay, don't break it. There you go, and pull it out just like that. Hopefully I didn't break it. If I did, oh well. Actually, I really didn't pull it out there, but I'll replace this too because I have another one I need to replace. I have another one I could use to replace it. Okay, and then for this one, you might have to loosen this out. Sometimes you could pull this all the way to the side. And sometimes it just comes right off. That's awesome. All right, we're gonna pull that out. And there we go. That's why the lamp's not working. And this is the red one. So you see that ends right there? It just blew off. Could be a variety of reasons, but mostly it's because they're made out of pure shit. So this batch of bulbs suck. But we got this new one, and I think it's reinforced in there because it has these like little coils around it. I don't know if you can see that. There's a little bit of coils in there where this one is just like a little bit of a bar. It's like a little metal, I don't know, piece of metal. But yeah, I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, so Cafe Haru. There's a this new cafe opened up by my place, and I like to collect all my favorite cafes merchandise if they have any. But yeah, we're gonna go from the top. So now the next thing you want to do is if I was being good, I would probably wipe this down with some isopropyl alcohol, 99%. So we're gonna pretend like we did that, and then we're gonna just drop this in. Let me get a better view of it. Come on, god damn it. So did I go this way or that way? There you go, that way. So there's like these little, you have to match those tabs into there and then slot it right in, and it should hold. Fully fitted in. There you go. All right. Want to make sure you pull the sleeve off too. Helps protect the wires. Put that right in there. We'll just plug this right in here. Or if I could just loop it this way. Clicked in right there, and then I'm gonna loop it towards this way. We're gonna connect that right over here. Actually, I won't replace it. I just want to put this in right now. We'll plug those two. That goes in there, that goes in there, and then you just want to bring this part right over the connector. Get the connector over. And that's just for protection. So you don't have like AC mains hitting this like panel. And anything AC mains, I feel like it's gonna murder me. So it's always a good relationship you should have with AC mains. More than any electricity, really. So I'm gonna bring it down just like this. Then I'll put this sheath over. Hopefully I'll hold it in place. That goes in there. You want to make sure the wires kind of come out in that direction, because you want this boot essentially just to protect it from melting the plastic. So we'll put this back on. That boot goes right into that big hole. You just cover it like this. And then flip it over. We just got to align it a little bit. Those thickened wires are a little bit harder to keep it in, so let me see. Okay, that'll go in just like that. Okay. That looks like it's in. Come on. I'm trying to line up the holes now. The wires are kind of thick, so that's kind of the issue with that lamp. So sandwich in like that. I got to put the bottom panel in, or bottom door in. So that door goes here, and then here, and just slides in like this. Good. Gonna leave it like that. Remember those 3 screws I told you about? We're gonna replace those with some new ones I got from Amazon, thank God. The only big difference is that these are hex versus Phillips, and I prefer hexes over Phillips. If I was also good, I'd probably replace these two and then remove this, remove the bulb and just clean out the the quartz tube that it's in. But I'm just gonna leave that out for now. Keep it simple. I can set this in and I'll remove it next time. So I'm gonna screw these back in just so they're held in. So much better. All right, I'm gonna put this 3 screws back in. Put this 3rd screw back in without losing it. There we go. That looks good. Oh, I probably should have led those wires in, so I'm gonna pull these out. At least I know those fit right there. One more. What I didn't do is I didn't lead those wires through here into here. I gotta get it close. And this one goes down. And then I'll use that black self-tapping screw to hold it in after I get this plate in. Cool, I could use one of my other self-tapping screws. Missed it. Getting this screw in is always fun. Sometimes it's easy and sometimes it's incredibly hard. There he goes. Oh man, is this too small? I think it is. Shit. Let me grab the... Got those one-off screws. I really hate it when they do that. Let me see if I could find it. I think it fell. Oh shit, it's right there. Well, they're the same size. All right. Maybe I gotta push it in more. So I'll push this in a bit more. There we go. Now it's fun. I gotta make sure this fits in again. This. Go the other way. I was doing it the wrong way. I gotta do it this way. That goes there. And just get to seat that edge right into there. Good. Then I'm gonna screw this in. Good. Happy Thursday. Oh, my back. I need a chair. Almost 1 week till World of Coffee San Diego is happening, which I'm going to. So I'm all excited about that. Put this in here. Good. All right, I was just looking if the tab was seated into this middle part. There's like a little middle tab at the end that the lamp, the flat end kind of goes in. So it just kind of, it just holds it like that. And then the boot holds the other side. And sometimes they don't fit and it's a little bit wiggly or it's not really tight there. And then you'll have like a little bit of a play. And I've seen it where people move it around so much that it moves back and forth so much that it snaps. So that's why I like having that boot back there. Although someone's telling me I could use like metal zip ties to hold it in place. So that might be a good option too. So I'm gonna take a little break from that and I'm gonna try to see what's going on in Discord. I'm gonna open and close it. See if that works.
Said Skywalker stream Q&A.
Whoa. What was that? All right. Let's do this again. Connect that, and I'm just restarting Discord because it's acting weird. Quit Discord. We're gonna open it back up. Okay. All right, I'm just gonna reopen Discord. Start the stage. What? Share screen. Oh no, I wanted to I didn't want to do that. Share camera. Turn on camera. Start the stage. Oh, was I supposed to hop on? Then I gotta hop on stage. Oh no, there it goes. Is the mic working now? Let me see. Let me ask this guy. Can you hear me? Is it delayed? I know on YouTube it's probably working, but I don't know if it's working on Discord. What if it's delayed a little bit? Okay. Well, we'll see if that works. I'm gonna put this back now. So, is the mic working now? No, he left. Don't leave. Come back. Okay, you can hear. At least you can hear me fine. Okay, I'm just gonna put this back together. I'll go from the front. I'll swing it around the other way. Actually, maybe I can move this camera. I'm trying to find alternate ways to use this camera. Without it killing my back. Ugh. Okay, so let's turn this around. All right, so there's this wire right over here. We're going to, that's all right. I'll take 0.5 second delays. So we're gonna grab this wire. We're gonna kind of shove that in nice and gently. You don't want it to scrape on anything. They used to not have this protector here, and I used to like cut up wires all the time, putting this back in. Which in hindsight is kind of terrifying because I was like an exposed mains wire just like on the case. We just keep getting lucky not burning ourselves with this machine. All right. So I'm going to put the front panel back on. Right now, everything's kind of being held on by the door. If I were to let go, that whole thing would drop. But if I were to line it up and then shut the door to lock it, then it'll kind of stay in place, just like that. So next we're going to put this back on. Actually, let me fix this. I remember the fitting on this used to be really, really tight, like putting the this thing on. Should be fine. Let me put the other one on and see first. Good. That's good. Fixed itself, huh? Good. Put this screw back on. That went in. One more screw. So went that way, I went that way. I'm gonna go towards the middle. I'm just leaving it till like it's a little loose. Nothing too crazy. Good. Now I'll tighten it over. This way. Go back this way. This way. This way. So I'm just going kind of like when you put a car tire back on, or if you've ever done like a head gasket job, you always have to go like in different opposite angles to tighten it down. You know, it's probably people haven't done that before, but I have done that head gasket job on a Subaru Forester a long time ago. And I remember that being a huge thing where you have to like put a certain pattern on when you put the head gasket back on. It has to be screwed in a certain way at different torques. I think it was based on angle than it was on torque. It was based on like degree. Like you do like a 45 degree, then you would go down to the other one, do a 45 or something, and then you would just go around. So I kind of was thinking of it that way so I can make sure this is tightened in all the way and nothing's really too loose. And it's actually like pressing against the wall. And I think it kind of helps with the gap on the tops. Like usually there's like a little bit of a gap. I really wish I had quick disconnect on that. No, I gotta put a quick disconnect on that camera so I can just pull it out and then show you. But usually there's like this little gap between the wall and the little funnel here. And sometimes beans get stuck in there or get caught and get stuck. They've had fixed it over time, but there's still some that have little gaps, and you could kind of decrease that gap if you tighten this a certain way. Okay, so that's all back together. Let's test this out. Oh my God. All right. Good. Oh, that's why. I'm just gonna use a controller to test if it turns on well. Maybe I'll screw this back into. All right, I'm gonna clean this little coffin because it's a little bit dirty. Should be good and clean it. Good. Oh, this part off. And if you ever want to use like some kind of cleaner, just use Simple Green. It works really well. Soap and water too, I guess, if you would really want it. But I find Simple Green really works well. But it's also, this was exactly what Simple Green was made for, to clean industrial coffee items. And we'll clean up all this oil that the drum was spilling. I'm gonna add some new oil in. Or I should say grease. Put a little dab of that Cryotox. I'm only doing that because I know all the grease came out of it. Oh wait, is it in here now? Didn't even have to leave far. So in the motor, there's like two little openings. You can just like maybe get a little bit of grease and just kind of. Luckily, this one came in kind of reminds me of Orajel. So I'm just gonna put a little bit in there. There's another one from Mill City Coffee Roaster that has it, and it's I can't think of what it's called. But Mill City Coffee Roasting has this really good grease as well that they use. Certified, and most of all, there's no was everyone creeped out about Teflon or something? At this point, I'm just gonna put cameras everywhere. I'm just lining this up so I could screw that in. I'm gonna put my new screws in. So I'll come over here. Oh, my knees. So a little trick you could do to line this up whenever you take the coffin out is you just kind of, you could put this plug in. Sometimes there's such good like hold on it, you can kind of have it hold in place while you line up the holes. There it goes. And I usually start off with it hand tight, and then I'll get tighter as I go on. I'll start off hand tight. Right, so the box is in place as long as you have good access to it. If you feel like you could do better, you can also scoot forward a little bit more and then really tighten them down. Like in terms of getting those aligned a little bit better. See how it's kind of loose? That's when I'll start like really starting to tighten it in the position that I wanted it in. So again, you can use this to hold it in, really push it in, and then tighten it. Good. And you're just using that USB just to hold it in place. So it lines up with the hole. I usually like to double check if the wiring looks good. That looks good. Good. As long as this one could get in there really well. And I got to make sure this one gets in here too. And if it doesn't, like that one's a little bit low, I'm going to unscrew this a little bit. Realign it. I'll make sure I get that one in. Get this one in. USB-A, USB-C, then I'm going to tighten both. And I'll even put a little bit of pressure through it so it goes in the position I want it. Good, and then all right, so that's in. We'll put the back cover on. Go. And then when you put the panel back in, you'll feel like this part just kind of fits in. It will you'll feel like a little bit like you'll feel a little bit just kind of just line up and fit. And you want to make sure that lines up well because that's where the exhaust fan meets with the exhaust tube. And you want to make sure those are in line. I gotta make sure I put these screws back in. I'll get the tool for it. I think it's a 2.5. It doesn't say on this one, but I'm pretty sure it's 2.5. Oh no, 100% this unit went through 30 days of a trial as a production roaster. Half the returns on Amazon are people literally using them. They're not supposed to. They use them like a not production or like a not home roaster, but a production roaster. It's kind of funny. And the most interesting part is they're running this all without like cooling off the motor. Did I ever put holes in here for that? I don't think I did. Oh, I did. Well, I gotta loosen it then. My holes are just out of alignment. Because I think Amazon's return policy is 30 days. I'm trying to remember if I actually did put a hole in there. I didn't, huh? All right, my bad. At least I know where to put a hole in next time. And this roaster will last a long time if you use it like a home roaster. A lot of people use this kind of like back to back. And the way it's built, it's not, I don't think it was really ever built to be back to back, but you can do it, which is kind of cool. But at the same time, you're really working on that motor overheating because it does get up to 120 degrees Celsius after what, a single roast, followed by like more back to back roasts. So you're just, I get a little bit more impressed with that motor every time I work on it. All right, test this out, make sure everything's working. Got to account for all this stuff, like getting you the best view and actually I can turn it right. Damn it. Okay. You like a call? Yeah. We I think half the coffee is just I just either give it out to friends or find someone willing to take it because I roast so much. All right, lamp works. Let's see if you can see it through there. Yeah, all those is a broken lamp. Someone probably using it. It doesn't help that the controller itself runs it at 100% for preheat. I don't know if you can see that, but it says 100, and that's what it preheats to. Usually I tell people when you start off roasting with the controller first, when you hit preheat, just make sure to drop it to 85 or 80 to save the lamp. Otherwise that lamp will it'll die pretty quick. All right, let's go put this back together and we're gonna do a little bit of roast on it and we're gonna see how that goes. Yeah, high beam, I like high beam. Nicer, easier to look. I mean, Artisan's not bad at all. It's, you know, it's just Artisan. It's been out for a while. No huge changes are really made on it. Well, I mean, there's changes, but there's nothing like dramatic. It's an open source thing, so it's pretty cool still. Press that sucker in, good. And let's put all these screws back in. I'll pull this out real quick. Good. They should put I remix. Do you hear me okay? Is my mic working on their remix on Discord? It wasn't working on Discord for a bit, so I just restarted everything. They should put a big, not a production roaster. It wouldn't matter. They would just take it off and figure a way out to make it a production roaster. Even though the people would not listen. Yeah. You can't stop us. You could buy like, how many of these can you buy before you get like to an M10? Somebody said they were running like 3 or 5 at a time using the same profile, and it was like it was all matching up still. Like he would start one profile on one machine. I think he might cup it like right after, then he would just run that profile on each of those machines. And just like make it a production roaster for that time. And if you have 5 of them, you run them and it breaks down, you just go, oh well, I got 4 more left, or I got 2 more left. I'm gonna meet my quota. Ow, fuck. Good. Oh, okay. I'm guessing you're buying this one then. We're gonna do a roast on it for sure. What time is it? 10:40. Ooh, yeah, I got time. Let's just do it now. I got a bunch of errands to run and gotta go to Target and be a good husband. Let's flip this around. Boy. Ouch. Let me put warm it. I'm gonna preheat this. Let me get a plug. I know I have an extension cord. I should have just put that extension cord in last time. Ow. Okay. Got my extension cord. One day I'll be blessed with a electrician to come by my house and put my sub panel in. This fucking way. You're like 5 extension cords. I think there's only like one 20 amp breaker power source in this whole garage. Need to fix that. Be a project for next time. All right, that's plugged in. So we got high beam on this. Let me turn on high beam on here. Let me cast it first. Pretty sure I turned air server on. Yes, close the other application, please. Ooh, I think there was an update. Okay. There we go. All right. Let's connect to here. There you go. ESP32 BLE. Good. All right. We'll warm this up. I wonder if I could set that automation. Let me bring it there. That's at 80%. There's some automations I want to set. So when I'm starting, when event marker, we'll say preheats. We'll add the condition that it will, no, we'll add execute when preheats on, then we will set heater to 80%. And then I'll create another automation when And let's have the Bluetooth temperature hit. I don't know, we'll say 185. And then we'll turn the PID on. Oh, actually. We'll set it to enable. Then we'll set PID control to 200. Confirm. All right, then I'll start that as an automation, see if that works. So start preheating, hits to 80. Oh, and if I want, I'll go ahead and, it's a little redundant. I just got rid of the ET value. I'm gonna hit preheat. So if I set this to, let's say, we'll start it. I'm gonna start this off at, yeah, I'll start off at 100. If I hit start preheating, switches to 80, hits the auto. Then once it reaches 185, then I'll switch, I believe. We'll see. Hey. I gotta figure a way to open up Discord tab. Oh. 4 new mentions. More mentions? Oh wait, there's another one. Oh. Let's see, I have a question. I am getting noise from this roaster. I feel like it's the heating I'm touching somewhere. Let me turn off my lo-fi girl. I'm gonna listen to this guy's video real quick. Something's catching. I think it's your bearings. Who is that? Rookie Coffee. Yeah, I think it's your bearings. Oh, hey, there. Okay, so Rookie Coffee, it sounds like your bearings. What I would do is take the back panel off. You want to take the back panel off, take the motor out, and then with the front open still, just kind of spin it, and or you could even like go by hand and feel what the drum feels like. Just make sure the motor's off of the assembly completely, and then you just kind of want to put your finger on it and then just kind of rotate it and see if it catches. Usually if it catches, and it sounds like maybe that's catching on a bearing. It's not all bearings are perfect. Sometimes contaminants get in them, and it causes a whole lot of issues. Like in 3D printing, if you have any kind of contaminant, artifacts will go on your 3D prints. So that's why it's huge to keep your bearings like nice, clean, and properly lubricated. Then you'd have to, if there's a problem with the bearings, you can try cleaning them out, and then maybe try re-greasing them, or you could just buy more bearings, and they're usually the same. I got some here. $6807 bearings. ZZ, you want double shield. 6807 double shield ZZ. So you want to make sure you got that going on. Yeah, 6807 ZZ. ZZ is the double shield. You got to make sure that's on there. You don't want the plastic shield, otherwise you're in for a good time. So you want the double metal shield. That's what the ZZ is. Usually Z is one side metal shield, the other one not, but yeah. 6807 ZZ. But if you do get it from like somebody on Amazon or somewhere else, I would definitely, if you do, I would have to recommend you get like a good bearing grease, and you would have to like soak it in isopropyl alcohol and then try re-greasing it with the other types of grease. Because you want like a indirect contact NSF S1 or H1 grease that's indirect contact safe. And you also want one that doesn't burn up and just poisons you. So that's my biggest thing on the grease, because I don't know what grease they put in like the ones on Amazon, but it's something to consider. Yeah, the grease is, oh, let me find it. Hold on. I think it's True Grease. Mill City Roaster. All right, here we go. I'm gonna put the link in here. And I'm gonna switch all my bearings to this grease eventually. Oops, sorry. I'll get back on there. Boop. I'm back. Sorry. I went on my phone and I put that link in that way. Okay, I'm in space now. What the fuck? Hold on. Wait. I'm in space. Okay. Let me turn on my speakers. Not getting stuck, no weird noises. Okay, then it's probably your motor. Or does there play in your drum too? So can you move it up and down? Like it should like not move at all. Like there should be minimal play when you like, if you do any like vertical or horizontal movements, like straight up and down and then straight left and right, it shouldn't have any kind of movement. I have an open one here. I do. No, I took it out. Fuck. Is that on there? That's on there. So yeah, try looking at the drum and seeing if there's any play. There should be like the minimal to no play in the front of the drum. So you would go in the front and then you would just try moving it up or down, or left and right. Let me know how that goes. This is preheating a little bit. I'm gonna put some beans in. I'm gonna run a batch. Oh, the drum is moving freely, like this play. Like I wish I had a roaster that was not. I'm coming. Ow. Did it die? Did the stream die? Okay. Okay. So is your drum shouldn't move at all when you like move it up and down or left and right. It should stay put. Because if you have it loose, oh man. Wonderful. Okay. So yeah, and then if you move it left and right or up and down, do you hear me, Ricky? Sorry. And then there should be no movement or play in it. Because if you have any play in it, then I think that you might want to check that if there's any playing, like your jaw moving up and down, then you have to let me see if I can print a picture of it. Let me get this out the way. You see that brass nut in the back? Fuck, I just broke everything. Whatever. Okay, so where's the picture of it? Let me just download this. No, no, I don't want to join for $4.99 a month. Okay, escape that. I think I downloaded your video. I'm trying to play it on my computer, see if I can hear it. This is incredibly annoying. What is this? Look at the fucking video. All right, let me see if I can hear it on my phone. I don't know. I don't hear anything. I don't know if it's my phone being weird. Lock it, right. Motor looks fine. All right, I'm getting back on. Hold on. All right. I don't know if am I supposed to. I can't hear anything on it. I don't know if it's because of my whole stream setup, but that might be the issue. But let me go ahead and I gotta throw this batch in. I gotta put this on. And put this on. Hey, that works if it's food safe. And it gets up to the that motor is gonna reach to temperatures like because it touches on the back of the drum, and the drum gets pretty hot, and it can reach up to like 120 degrees Celsius. Probably even hotter where it touches at. But if it's food safe, yeah, give it a shot. All right. Oh. Do a little roasty roast. Oh, I put them all over here. I want to try this Ethiopia with it. Let me measure this out. I'll do 350 today. Be right back. Actually, let's do 3. I'm gonna save some of this. 300. All right. Wait. We're doing 300 grams. All right, 300. Oh, fuck. 300 grams. Good. Nothing smells like it's melting. So we're fine. I'm going to try to jump these in. Oh. And charge. Actually, I'm gonna jump that down. That was too high. 25. And for rookie coffee, I think I have a video where I show like what the drum play looks like, and if it's too loose, you might have to tighten up that brass collar that holds the drum in. It'll show you on that video. And you have to either get a special spanner on Amazon, or if you have a 3D printer or know someone with a 3D printer, you can have them print it out in PLA, and you can have it like unscrew it. I just did I did the 3D print because I don't have to spend $25 on a tool. I could just spend $1 on filament or something. I guess I could be a little bit higher. Turning point was at 110. I've been trying to get it like below a minute or at a minute if I can. I'm gonna try a new way, not a new way, a different way of roasting. Usually everyone does the declining ROR. I really want to try playing with this whole flat ROR business. So that's just applying this constant heat towards it because it's a radiant heat roaster. So I want to try that, but still like decline the heat over time, but more focus on just keeping it at a plateau. And then when it reaches maybe, when it hits the Maillard phase, I'll probably decrease the heat so I keep it in that phase a little bit longer. And then after first crack, I'll probably decrease it again. So it'll be more stepped than a gradual decline. Or it'll just naturally decline on me like this. Interesting. There it is. I'm gonna go back up. And down, up and down. Still green. So I haven't got out of dry end phase yet. No, that's better. All right. And wait a little bit longer. Usually 160 you hit dry end. Oh, okay. Yeah. Since we're in that phase, I'm gonna drop this down by a bit. I'll leave some automation stuff out of my way. And this will like hit a plateau, they'll drop down, hit another plateau, and then drop. Then I'll just lower after first crack. Let's see if they have first crack coming soon. There it is. And I'm gonna drop it again. I'm gonna raise this up by a lot. This roast was kind of a little too fast. I did 300 grams. I probably should have had it a little bit lower. All right, I'm gonna drop it. Damn, that lamp was strong. I'm done at 7 minutes. I haven't done 300 grams in a while. Curious to see what this tastes like. It's a little bit too fast. Really dramatic decreases. I was hoping to prolong it a little bit. I thought there'd be some tipping or scorching. This one looks pretty good. Looks fine. This roast was just incredibly fast. I don't know if that was because of the bean or I had my settings too high. Who knows? Good. So we'll let that cool. And there. That's how, for this one, I just wanted to show you how to do the lamp and then roast this for whoever the person who's going to purchase this next. I'm sorry, I'm just 7 minutes is. What did I start off at? 75? Maybe it's just the new lamp. It's very, very, very strong. That's kind of a lot. I should I'll hook it up to the my watt watt meter thing. Let's see how many amps it's pulling or whatever. When you look at it this way, I mean, got that plateau on top. Drop down, another plateau. Drop. I mean, I guess this is gonna taste interesting. We'll see. Probably should have stuck to a development time of 45 seconds. See anything on YouTube? Thing with the S3 and getting it working, I moved the shipping return. You are rich in high beam units. I have a well, it's not a checklist. I have like this graph that kind of tells you how you want to follow a declining ROR curve for a convection roaster. Oh, that one. Well, that was more of an experimental light roast procedure that we're playing with. I don't know if I would recommend it just yet. There's a lot of people having conflicting results. Like I had good results light roasting with that profile, and then another guy, Val, said he has a great. He's been great roasting with it. It's very different. You got like 30-second like first crack time. So, and then the person I know who did roast really well says he got a lot of muted flavors from it. So. I don't recommend anyone trying it out. If you're trying out for a new roast, I'd probably stick with, I guess, the conventional way of roasting with the declining ROR and everything. And there's a few, I think there's on the Discord where we have like the handout where it says what happens at certain times and if you extend it and you shorten it. The cheat sheet, I think, is on the Discord. Oh, the one I sent you? Okay. Sorry. I tried to. I need to make another profile so I can just go over the basic of like getting it started on a roast. Okay, well, this works fine. New lamp is actually kind of strong. I don't know if it's because it's a better unit or something, but it's a lot stronger, I feel. Like that roasted a lot faster than I thought. But it also could be the beans I was using. It's an Ethiopian. Although I've roasted that same bean, it wasn't that fast. And it was at a higher setting, so I really don't know what's going on. I'll try another bean. I'll try it with another unit with a regular lamp and see if maybe there is a difference with these new lamps. Or this new lamp. I don't know where this lamp came from. It came from Precision, but I don't know who the person who manufactured it is. But whoever gets this, looks like it's working. I'll put it all back together. The fan's doing a really good job blowing on that motor, keeping it cool. I'm just gonna leave out that filter, and then I think whoever gets this, I'm just gonna print out the this. Actually, I'm just gonna give this funnel if you want it. I think this funnel is way better than the the fan, but I can also. But if you want that fan setup, I can send it to. Let me know. I'll see if I can just print out one of these before I send it out, which should be before the weekend. Next week, I work Monday and then I leave Tuesday to go to San Diego to do the World of Coffee. You can reduce it. Yeah, a cheat sheet would. Okay, I'll see if I get a better cheat sheet. but I didn't know to reduce the heater once you hit first crack. You can. Some people don't. Some people can. It's up to you. But if you, I just do it so I don't prevent, like, for me, it's the radiant heat. It's a constant heat hitting the beans. I've already reached the thermal inertia of where I want to go, and I'll just like leave it at a very minimal setting for the lamp, and I'll let the kind of roast run its course through first crack with this roaster, because I'll probably pull it out in a minute or maybe a minute 30. And I'll let the thermal inertia, let it coast all the way till it's done with the roast. So I might drop it down to like 30%, which is very minimal radiant heat being transferred. Or but I'll never raise it up, because then I think that's a higher chance of burning the beans. But it also depends on what you're trying to achieve. Maybe you're trying to achieve something getting a darker, or starting to put the lamp at a higher degree of percentage. Maybe you're trying to reach that mythical third crack. But usually most people drop down their temperature after first crack. But as long as you don't raise it up, I think you won't ruin your roast. Then I saw DE, and I'm like, so DE is easy. So let's see if I go through it real quick. Oh, I could do the video thing. Let's go play with their special stuff. Generate a roast video. Allow. Allow. And I'll just go over this briefly, not saying it's for you, but just in case someone else was watching this video and wondering. I just want to play with this. All right, so turning point. I usually try to get a turning point within like a 1 minute or so. But the turning point's a big thing in terms of roasting. So you're applying the heat that you need to. So if you try keeping it like at a certain range, some people like to keep it under a minute. I keep it around a minute. I just don't want it like a 2-minute turning point, because that means I'm not applying it. To me, that means I'm not applying enough heat. Let me turn this off too. So there's turning point. And depending how you roast, one thing you want to look out for is this. That first like initial decline that you see, people you'd usually they usually like to for if you're doing a declining ROR. I'm doing a different style because I'm trying to experiment a little bit, but normally when you see that first decline, you kind of want to start in your mind thinking maybe I should start dropping heat a little bit, because it will sometimes rebound. And that can possibly affect the flavor of your coffee. And people who are trying to get that declining ROR, they want it declining over time. They don't want it to go back up. Some consider it like a flick or a crash. I'm in the camp that I really don't care about flicks and crashes. I just don't like them in case I were want to replicate this, and it's really hard to replicate a flick and a crash. You'll have some roasters claim that like they had an amazing roast, but they can't recreate that flick and crash that occurred during that roast. So you usually want it to be declining, and you want it to drop it not a big amounts. So when it's starting to decline, I'll usually probably drop it like by 5, because you only could drop it by 5 with the Skywalker. You can't drop it by 1. Like if you're at 80, if you started at 75% heat, when I see that like decline, I might just start dropping it down, maybe by like to 70, and I'll see how that goes. Right here is just note to yourself that around 155, I keep it to myself, like 155 to 160, you're more than likely going to hit dry end, which it's honestly just the beans have turned yellow. They went from, from that little bit of green. Now it's kind of like finally at that yellowing. There's no real green anymore. That's when I noticed that's when the dry end phase. Now you're going to go what's called the Maillard phase right in here. And this, you want to match the percentage that you're in the first phase. So right now it's like what? 58%. You're at 4 minutes. So you kind of want to match it. Some people like to match it like 4 minutes, or maybe 4 minutes, 5 minutes. You just don't want it to be like 4 minutes and then 2 minutes, because you're just laying on the heat. So that's when people start decreasing the heat. And then you can kind of keep tapering it down little by little. This time you want to be like, maybe, let's say you went to 70 and then you notice dry end hit, then you would go maybe down to like 65 or 60. And doing it nice and slow. You don't want to like drop it to 30, because you don't want to kill your thermal inertia. You want to let that thermal inertia kind of keep going, keep rolling that roast, so when you hit the first crack, you'll get a good strong like first crack for most beans. If you could keep that ROR maybe at like, I don't know, 9 or 8. You just want to keep it high. You don't want that ROR to drop to like 3 or 5. Usually if you have like a really low ROR when you're entering into first crack territory, which is around 1 for our roaster, it's like 188 to 185 to about 190. It's low compared to other roasters, but that's just how ours is set up. You can't really, you could try fixing it, but I'd say that's usually where it's at for our first crack. And we're just trying to elongate that phase before we go into the development phase, which is after the Maillard phase. It's important that you like want to stay and kind of tune up on that Maillard phase, because that's where a lot of like the flavor development occurs apparently. So you just want to be mindful of that. And then when you hit first crack, that's for me. So when I hit first crack right now, good. So when I hit first crack and I hear it, you're hearing for not just pop, you're hearing for pop, pop, pop. Some people say just 2 pops. I like a symphony of pops, so pop, 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 and that's when I'll say, okay, that's first crack, and I'll punch it in right there. And after I punch it in, then I'm gonna start lowering the heat. It's better to lower the heat than raise the heat. If you start raising the heat after first crack, you get weird numbers coming off of your probe, and usually it's not good. And you just want to bank on that ROR, like kind of being, I don't know where it should be at, maybe like 7 or 8. You want to make sure it's kind of high enough that you're rolling into first crack, and that thermal inertia is still heating up those beans. But you're also not, you're still a radiant heat roaster. So if you have a high lamp on, like a high percentage lamp, and you're at that phase, you can actually cause more roasting like defects and just more roasty and burnt taste if you leave it at that high percentage. You want to be kind of like in the lower 50s, maybe 40s, depending on what you're doing. But you never want to be like, oh, I'm at 50, I'll bump it up to 80. It causes like a lot of weird like dark bitterness for me, from what I've noticed. And then for radiant heat roasters, depending on what your kind of theory is, what you're thinking, usually people for light roast want to drop it at 1 minute 30 seconds, and then some people drop it at 30 seconds, and it's just my preference. Usually, if you're dropping it at the 30 seconds, there's a higher chance that it might be underdeveloped. Especially with this roast I did, I feel like it's going to be underdeveloped because I finished at 7 minutes 16 seconds, and we're not like this is by no means like I'm trying to do a Nordic style roast. I'm trying to keep it like within I like it at the 9 minute mark. My preference. That's where I noticed like I enjoy that taste. But yeah, if you're an air roaster or fluid bed roaster, I think they usually shoot for that like at 8 minutes first crack or something like that, or dropping it, or completed the whole roast within 8 minutes. So first crack happening at like 7 minutes, and then 1 minute of that development time, and then drop. For a light roast. For a dark roast, for a medium roast, I might shoot for like 2 minutes to get a pretty solid medium roast. Sometimes it's a medium light, depending on the bean and how much. It just depends. What the bean is, what their temps were at. But usually I notice about 2 minutes, 2 minutes 15, I get a decent medium roast. And then anything after 2 minutes 15 seconds will be, that dark roast. He'll start hitting second crack or something. That's where second crack, when those pop, it's going to be different popping from first crack. First crack is like pop, pop, pop. It's kind of mellow compared to second crack. It's a little bit more, I always say it's a little more chaotic. It's like really aggressive crackles. Sounds like Rice Krispie treats. A lot of silver drum cracks. And that's when you know you're in the second crack phase, but you might be shooting for that dark roast. There's no shame in wanting to go dark roast. It's fine. There's like this weird thing where a lot of people are against going dark, but dark roasts are the ones that sell. So I can always say like adventure towards there, see if you like it. But I wouldn't want to waste like a good geisha, like a good expensive bean going into dark roast too. Because all the flavors just it all reaches this dark coffee roasty taste. Or if you have like a certain bean, it might taste like, it literally tastes like, there's this one bean I did where I went to second crack. I forgot what it was. Was it a Typica? Was it Robusta? Was it a Robusta? It was like a Vietnamese Robusta. I took it to second crack. I tasted it, and it reminded me of when there was the Paradise Fires, and you go outside and you could taste the smoke and the darkness. That's exactly what it tasted like. It was awful. It was a terrible memory. So. And then, yeah, drop the roast. Cooling, you want to make sure that it cools within like less than 5 minutes. And if you're in a hot day in a garage, you might want to consider getting an external roaster or external cooler. I know in the wintertime, I get really great cooling times on the Skywalker because obviously my garage is cold. But if you're like in a warm area and it's like 80, you're roasting in like your garage is 85 degrees, it might take 6 or more minutes for the beans to cool. So be weary of that as well. Typically people want it under 5 minutes. And then there's other people who like to show out and, try to cool it off within a minute. I think that's cool if you want to do that, but it's not what you exactly like need to have a desirable roast. It's just great that you have to cool it off in time. Otherwise, if you don't do anything, I've had it where I didn't have the fan on and you drop the beans and you think it's cooling, it'll literally go to second crack. One part will, like if enough of the beans hit like the center of like the pan. I had one section where it was just going into second crack where the rest of the beans were just like cooling off. So it's important to, agitate your beans as well. They give you these long spoons so you could agitate the bean and then it helps cool it down a little bit. So for those that don't have because I'm gonna say this straight out right now because this has been an issue. If you don't have this cooling fan that's cooling off your motor, even with the V2, I would say if you're between batch protocol, which is a fancy word for when you're going to roast next, I would wait till probably the machine gets to like almost room temp and then start another roast. So maybe like 5 or 10 minutes between each roast. Just because I know that the motor right here, even with the well, not so much with the V2. The V2 has an auto shut off feature on the motor, where if it goes past 90 degrees Celsius, it's going to turn off. But the V1 motor doesn't do that, and it'll go to 120 degrees Celsius and it'll eventually kill itself. But I did have a V2 where it would turn it off. I would do back-to-back roasts, and I noticed that the drum motor was actually slowing down a little bit because it was reaching those 80 plus degrees Celsius, even though there was a fan blowing cold air onto it. Because of the fan set up to where it's sucking air out of here and then blowing it upwards into the motor. So between each like batch of your roasting for a V1, definitely you want to let it, if you don't have any mods like this, the cooling mod, then I would let it like completely cool down. That motor, you're working it pretty hard at 120 degrees Celsius, which is more impressive now because I know that a lot of the people earlier who are roasting back-to-back roasts for 5 hours straight, they literally had that motor at 120 degrees Celsius for maybe 3 or 4 hours. So I grow a little bit of more respect for the motor, but at the same time, wasn't really designed for that high heat because of the plastic gear within the V1 motor. V2 is a little bit better, although it still has a plastic gear in it, but it does have an auto shut off feature where it'll just turn off when it reaches 90 degrees Celsius. So you can't really roast with it anymore if it reaches a certain temperature. Yeah. And I used to be in the camp where I would be like, maybe we should just lower the drum motor speed. I think the V1 motor will be just fine. You might have to throw like 3 or 6 beans out because if you go too fast, the beans will go on top of the little lamp cage and they'll burn itself on the flat side. That's going to happen. Some people get upset like, oh, I'm wasting like maybe 3 or 6 beans. If you go to a production roaster and you watch them at the end, they're literally out there picking out beans that are like, that didn't make the cut. Whether it be like some weird Quaker or burnt. Some of them I saw, there was one guy who had like some random burnt bean he found and he just taking them out. So you're going to have a few beans burnt. I figure if it's not more than 6, then it's okay. I usually get like 1 or 3 on the V1. The V2, the same thing, but if I lower the speed, at least I could stop that from happening. Cool. And that's about it. So yeah, we're fixing a lot. We've managed to, thank God, Haha Sky have managed to fix a lot of the problems in terms of cooling off the motor, the drum motor. I do even have a video of it, like literally leaking oil from it because it's so hot. So I'm glad we found a cheap and kind of easy way to install it. Although if you don't have a drill or any tool experience, it's going to kind of suck. But we did kind of fix that part. But yeah, if you have any questions, concerns, if you want to go over anything on the next, well, I will be off. I won't be streaming next week because it's my birthday. So I'll be actually in San Diego for the World of Coffee. I'll be there. There's a few roasting companies out there, so I'll be harassing them, asking them weird questions. So it'll be a good time. But if you have any questions you want me to ask, because I figure I'd go to the espresso outlet booth. Fab Roasters? I thought that they're going. They have a really interesting roaster. What was another one? Paleo is going to be there, I believe. Some other folks. I'll be there to preach the word of selling us cheaper roasters. Thank you. My big 4-0. I'm going to San Diego. Oh well. I'm going to San Diego with my family, so it'll be fun. All right. Well, I'm gonna call it here. I'm gonna pick up my kid. I gotta run some errands, and I gotta contact whoever's buying this, and then tell them it's all ready. And actually, no, I gotta open it back up and put a fan in. I gotta order those fans. That's what I was supposed to do. Okay, let me put those fan order in. But yeah, questions, concerns, feel free to drop me a DM or send me an email, or even just leave a comment. Somebody asked me this like long-winded question of what I'm tasting when certain things happen at certain times. I'm like, I fucking don't know. So, so I definitely need to do more roasting and seeing what the taste is. I'm gonna taste this one later. Anyways, see y'all later.